What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for raid.
That's supposed to help you with raid?
Yeah,
How?
because I got my secret weapon. Good morning, gamers. Hello. I've had a lot of trouble helping my friends who are both new and old to Final Fantasy XIV go from being super new to Savage content to being parse ready hardcore raiders. Because let's be honest, shit's intimidating. It's hard. It's a grind. And most importantly, people are assholes. Let me start by saying there's nothing wrong with raiding casually. It doesn't matter if you're brand new to Savage raiding and you're just doing it for fun, or you play for one of the top speedrun groups in the world. As long as you are having fun with what you are doing, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, we all play video games to have fun and escape the reality that in the real world, we don't have cat girls. So let's start from the beginning. If you're brand new to Savage raiding, or you have the raids unlocked and you want to get into Savage raiding, the first thing that you need to understand is that this is going to be a journey. Raiding hardcore is the goal, not the foundation. So we need to work with what we have to build that foundation to help us achieve our goals. And what you have when you first start is access to the current raid tier, or in our case, Eden's Verse as of the time of this video. So we need to take it one fight at a time and work towards our first goal, which should be completing the Savage raid tier. And to do that, we need to start by studying each fight before we even step foot into any raid. That way you can build some knowledge as to what's going on or what to expect before you even step foot into the content. There are tons of written guides and video guides out there that will detail every single mechanic of a fight that you need to know. And while some of those guides may not offer the best strategies, they'll at least give you a place to start and improve upon. So once you've done your research and you've at least exposed yourself to the knowledge of the mechanics of the fight, then you should join or make fresh progression practice groups so that you can try to apply what you've learned from studying. The practice tag in Party Finder exists for a reason, and you should use it as much as you need to become comfortable with the fight that you're trying to learn. And remember, everyone has to start somewhere, but if you don't start to begin with, you'll never get anywhere. The next thing you should do is find a class or job that is right for you at endgame. Do you play classes for the class fantasy? Do you play classes because they are meta? Do you play classes because of how they feel or flow? Whatever your reason is, find one that you enjoy playing and want to improve at and stick to it. And most importantly, make sure that class or job that you choose is in a role that you enjoy playing. While I do agree that having multiple roles at your disposal is very important, I personally believe that you should find a role and make it your niche, not quiche. So take the time to look into classes that interest you and roles that interest you and try to figure out what's going to be best for your playstyle. Or if you happen to have a bunch of classes at level 80, try to play with the different classes and play with the different roles to figure out what you are going to enjoy the most. And then take those classes into content that require you to do mechanics. But find out what you enjoy through trial and error and make sure that that trial and error isn't during raid progression. I've seen a lot of groups struggle with DPS checks on different fights because they have a tank swapping over to a healer, or a healer swapping over to melee, or a melee swapping over to caster. And it's a huge detriment to a progression group, especially if those players are not familiar with the role or class that they are swapping to. Next, don't obsess over your damage numbers. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is pulling 25,000 DPS on your 480 item level samurai. Your focus should be clearing the content, not how much damage you're doing. Looking at your damage in ACT is great. Uploading your logs to FF logs is great. Using your parses and FF logs to look at them in XIV analysis to see what you're doing wrong is amazing. But the best way to improve your DPS is by staying alive. And to do that, you not only need to learn the mechanics of the fight and learn the timing of the mechanics of the fight, but you also need to keep your teammates alive.
Why?
And then once you start progressing that fight and getting further and further into it to where you're hitting mechanics or walls that your group can't get past, then you can use that time leading up to that new mechanic to start optimizing the earlier parts of the fight. But mechanics come first. Once you get the mechanics down and your group starts hitting Enrage and they're hitting Enrage consistently, then that is the time to start worrying about your numbers. Speaking of groups, let's talk about statics. Again, like we did in that other video. But this time a little different. If you're trying to get through a raid tier, the most efficient way to accomplish that goal is to join a static or a raid group. But joining a static can be intimidating or hard to do, especially if you're brand new to the game or you're late to the raid tier. And while having a static will help you progress the raid tier faster and it will help you gear your character faster if you all have the same mindset and goals. Having a static is not a necessity to get to our first goal, which again should be clearing the entire raid tier. So we need to work with what we have and what we can to get there. And what we have at our disposal is Party Finder. I know some people hate using Party Finder, and I know some people hate the people in Party Finder, but Party Finder is an amazing tool to use to help you work towards your goals while you wait to find a static or you wait to make your own static. But whatever you do, don't give up on pushing towards your goals just because you can't find a static or you can't fill your static. Use that time to keep pushing yourself and keep learning. Don't sit around and wait for someone to find you, go find them. If you put in the time and effort into learning the fights or learning your class or being a great teammate, you will find other random players in Party Finder who will want to play with you again. Or you may even find players in Party Finder who offer you a position in their static. The very first static that I joined in Final Fantasy XIV was a random Party Finder group that just so happened to be missing a melee that night. But the important thing is to not give up on working towards your goals. Because before you can become a hardcore raider, you need to first become a raider by getting through the current content. Join random practice groups in Party Finder to work on mechanics that you need to clean up. Join random duty completion groups for when you're ready to clear the raid. Make your own practice and duty completion groups when there aren't any up in Party Finder. And stay on the lookout for statics recruiting in Party Finder or posting in recruitment discords or the recruitment Reddit. I'll link those in the description for anyone interested. But don't give up. Party Finder is a grind, it can be frustrating, it can be exhausting, and it can be demotivating, but don't give up. Strive for what you want to do and become the player that you want to be. And once you've finally cleared the raid tier, then you can start working towards your goal of becoming a hardcore raider. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it with JoJo and me and watching our new video. I truly hope that some of the information I presented helps you and it helps you want to push towards your goals. My part 2 of this video should be coming out on August 8th, so keep an eye out for that as well, as I will be diving more into your journey to becoming a hardcore raider. I'm moving next week and I'm super excited for that, but it could hinder me a bit in being able to keep pushing out content for you guys. So I'll try to keep you all updated and posted as to what's going on with that situation. If there's anything that you would like to see from me in future videos, or if you just want to talk, feel free to message me on Twitter or Discord and I would love to talk with you. JoJo and I look forward to seeing you all in the future and helping you work towards your goals of becoming a better raider. And we hope you have a great day. Goodbye.